Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here on this lucky Friday the 13th. I always think Friday the 13th is actually a lucky day. So you have to counteract all that bad press it gets, right? So I'm going to say cheers to you with, I have a nice little coffee I picked up before I did the video. And thank you to everybody who sent me Starbucks cards, because this one's on you and you and you. Mwah. All right, we have just a bunch of different things. First of all, let's do what I have on the calendar, which is show us your oldest UFO, your oldest unfinished project, unfinished object, if you want to say, but UFO sounds more fun than UFP. So I've pulled out my oldest UFO as far as I can remember. I know I have another one that I think is a close second in age, but I believe this one is the oldest. It is still together. I still have, it's a pattern I drafted, so there's still drafting stuff in here. And let me show it to you. And it has not been worked on in, 20 years, if not longer. I have showed this, a couple years ago, so some of you might recognize it. And it's a wall hanging size. And what it is, if you can't tell, it is a big black purse on the bottom, and dumping into it are a bunch of peppermint, little hard candy peppermints. Because this is a tribute to my grandmother, Nana, who always dumped a big bag of those peppermints into her purse and used them because she was a telephone operator. And it kept her voice and throat soothed by having the peppermint. So of course, as kids, we loved digging around her purse looking for the candy. Now I know I got stuck on this. The reason why I stopped was that I did not applique yet, and I wanted to put Nana's peppermints around the border. And I knew I had to I wanted to applique it and not do pieced letters. And so I stopped because at this point I was not appliquing yet. So I know that this is my oldest one, because soon after this I did start to applique, but I never really went back to finish it. But I will someday. I have a folder in here with the templates and things like that I drafted for the peppermints, because I drew all of those and drafted out the shapes. I can just show you the back. You might find that interesting. So here is the back. The peppermints are appliqued down, but I just felt at the time my skills were not quite there for appliquing down the letters. Plus I learned a lot about shadowing. So like behind some of these, there's too much fabric, etc., etc. So I will do it. And maybe, I don't know that it's this year, but I will. I will do it in the near future. So I would love to see your oldest UFO, and if you remember why you stopped, share that as well, because it would be a lot of fun. So I'm going to show you my block for Nurture, the Nurture block by Lisa Alexander. It's block number 11. Lisa is a very good friend of mine. You've been on my book tours that I've been on with her for her books. And this is my version of it. So sweet, bringing in the green fabric with the pinky reds, and loving putting just a sweet little flower in the middle of these 6-inch blocks, because I'm doing the 6-inch. The pattern has 9, 6, and 3-inch blocks. And so I have them all up here on the wall. And at my website today, you'll see a photo. I'll do a family portrait of them all together so that you can see it. What else do we have? Well, today is the finale of Snapdragon. So here is all of my blocks put together in the quilt. And it is dreary outside here, which makes actually for a good photo. So after I film this, I'm going to pop outside and take a picture of this out on my line, and then I'll put that on my website today. Now, if you bought the kit, the Fat Quarter Shop had backing fabrics in this beautiful piece from my sleepover fabric. I love the paisley and the florals together. But there's also wide backs. So if you prefer wide backs, there is green and blue and pink. So any of those would be absolutely fantastic. I am going to go with the green wide back. And then I'm going to use the same fabric for binding. So that is going to be the backing and the binding for mine. And that will be going to the spa. It's on the shelf, and the next time I take things to the spa, I have a couple things, so that will go. So I am so excited about it, so happy to see it, and I hope that you are enjoying making yours, and you will share, if you're not finished today, you can share your progress when you get to it. That would be wonderful. Oh, okay, let's do the organization stuff today. Did you enjoy my notions? You know, my notions aren't done, but I've made such good progress, and I will do another update and, you know, next week sometime, do some more, another notions kind of thing for me, because that is my big deal for this whole organization, is kind of get that cleaned up and under control. And my shelf over here, that stuff is project stuff I have to work on. But today's focus will be on die cut machines and your dies. So if you do not own a die cut machine or die, then today you get to think about something else, or just take a break from organizing. But if you are still working heavily on whatever your main thing is, continue on if you don't have dies. But if you have dies, the royal we would love to see how you store your dies. I'm a baby die cutter. I just have a small number of dies. I use it just for like specific things. I'm not like an all-in everything I cut with the die cut machine. I'm more like with the repetitive things or the scraps and things like that. But what I found is that I really needed the machine and the dies that I use all the time to be in this room. Because if they're not in here, I wasn't using it. If it was in another room, the other room, it was like I don't even own it. So I made the decision to use the table over in the corner, and what I'm going to do is pick up the other camera, go to the corner, show you the other dies that aren't there, and then we'll come back. So what I did was, about 6 months ago now, maybe 9 months, I decided that I would use this table here for the AccuQuilt station, because I would do this a lot more than I was going to be using the Tiara, because my Solaris takes the place of a lot of things I did on the Tiara, plus I'm sending a lot of things to Long Armor. So that's in storage, it's just in the other room in storage. I can get it out anytime I want and just pop it in the table. But this table is now available so that I can work on it. The big go is what I use is the electric machine, but we're talking also about the die storage today. And I have only a small amount of dies, and what I decided to do was get the ones out here that I use the most. So I bought these boxes. They're empty boxes that are marked by size, and then just mark on here what I put in them. And so these are all the regular kind of sizes that I use. This block is also, this cube rather, is also one that's really useful. But yeah, so squares, half square triangles, flying geese units, tumbler, which I haven't started with tumbler yet, but I want to, rectangles, and then when you open these, just get one out here, one-handed. So when you pull them out of the box, you have these units that open up just like a lot of the other units that the dies come in, but they're all blank so that you can write in here and mix and match. I decided not to write anything on the inside, just put the die, and then yeah, that's just the dies. So the plastic sheets, they're in the other room, so I don't really keep them in here. I could, but they don't fit back in here as well if you've got the sheet like laying inside of here. So that is what they look like. The small ones look the same. So I've got the small opener, the little box, and these open one more level down. So you've got 4 dies in the small one. And here I was able in this box to put the sheet inside with it. I don't know, I might have the sheet for the these dies. I might have it in that one. I'd have to open them all up. But these, I love how these fold together. And when you have like a cube, they're all written on inside. You know, they tell you, they're all printed what's in there. But with the blank ones, you can just do a custom of what you use all the time. This is the other one. I decided to pull it out and figure out what I had in here. I hadn't looked lately. So I have one die, and then I have the 2 sheets, because I do use this size and that bigger size there, you know, a little bit more. So I want to have these sheets out here. I do have other extras, but that way they're all right here. I have dies, I have the plastic sheet, I have the machine that I use. I do have the little machine as well, but this is really what I use. I like the electric one. And so let me just show you the other dies that I have on a shelf in the other room. Here on my heavy duty shelving, I have got all my other cube boxes, and then a couple of miscellaneous. But for the most part, I bought the cubes, and then that is what I've worked with. And I found, like I said, the ones that I've used the most of are over in the other room. And if I'm in a cube here and I'm thinking, okay, I need to have that size square, then I would take it out of here and put it in the other room. And that's just how I'm working for the amount of things and the type of things that I do with my AccuQuilt. So you can see, like, I do not have a ton of dies, and this is working just fine for me for how often I'm using it at this point in time. I can see later down the road I probably will maybe do more things with it, but right now, with all the things that we're running, that's where I'm at. So here are the boxes again. And this is the one that's the 10 by 10s. And so there's several different sizes, and you can look at, you know, I would say pull the dies that you are using. If you want to do what I did, put all your dies together that are the ones you use the most, and you need to pull them out of either your storage, which you have to store vertical, remember, or out of the boxes, even out of the cubes. You know, they don't have to stay in the cube. They can come out of the cube, and that's what I did. And so here is one of the smaller ones. See what you have, go and figure out how many boxes you need, and then you can order boxes. I mean, you could just stack them in some other manner too, if you like have a bookshelf or any other thing. But I do enjoy these boxes. I like them a lot, and also for me, it's visually very clean and tidy to have that, because there's, you know, I have a small space, so I don't want to have a lot of different colors, and you know, like, I don't want to see the edges of them. I'd rather see the white box. That's just me. That's just me. But it's available for anybody to just order these blank boxes, and they're super. Now, a couple things so you don't miss out. These planners are on sale right now, so if you've been thinking about picking one up and you didn't, they're really good. I think it's like 40% off. Yeah, and I've been updating mine, just basically putting in here a couple of things that I did each day, like organizing, maybe putting what I organized. Okay, the other thing is, I want to remind you to pre-order your Cupid box if you are so inclined and you don't want to miss out on all the darling things. You just don't want to miss out. I have something new to show you, and then first let me do the holiday hoopla, because I forgot. When I talked about this the other day, I forgot to show you my fabric. It's on the supply list. So you have the supply list, which is also the pattern for the layout. And on there, I do have, you know, the fabric I'm using. My copy is black and white, but your print won't be. This is from my book, The Holiday Hoopla. And remember that my publisher is closing. And so when they close, the books will be gone. So you want to get the book now if you have any chance in thinking that you might want to do this. Link is at my website today and in the description box below. And remember, the description box, you click the little more, it says more. You can read some of the tags. You just click, it says more, which everybody should know means click. And then it opens up and shows you all of the stuff that I wrote with all of the links. Now, what I am using is the French General's La Grande Soirée. So this is the bundle that I am going to work with, which are these reds and taupes and creams and grays. So mine will be a very tight palette. I don't know, I might add in a little black. I just might. We'll have to see once I start making blocks, because I won't make the blocks until I'm doing the video for it. So who knows? This could use a little black, maybe. And I'm using taupe for the background. One of these taupes down here. You know, this kind of color like that. And so those are all linked over there. I told you about the new love letter quilt, this little free pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop. And I also mentioned the other day that I ordered some Valentine fabric because I've not had any Valentine fabric for a while. I've not gotten anything new, and I thought, I'm just doing this. This is way more than you need for the block, but I wanted to just get some pretty fabric. So here we go. Let's see what I picked up. I think these are all primarily from J.J. Wecker's her line. I'll link it down below, but I think they're all from that line. So they've got these really pretty roses, which I could use like this pink for the envelope part. On that envelope, you need to be sure that you have high contrast. So the body of the envelope is pink on the pattern against a gray background. The heart is red. So the heart is red, okay? So background, the envelope, but then behind the heart is white. So be sure that this part here is a high contrast to your white. So don't get too, be sure before you sew it up, take a look at the contrast. So I also picked up this in the red and the pink. I got that gray. Then she has some sweet little hearts. Let's see, you can get a little closer. Sweet little hearts in gray. See, I could use that gray for the background, but then I would have to be sure this pink really has enough contrast, because I'm thinking this will be the envelope, and even if it were this pink against that light gray, I'm thinking this light gray is not dark enough, so I'm going to go with the darker gray down there. So I think pretty much it'll be those roses for the body of the envelope, the darker gray, and then I'll probably do the big hearts. So see the big hearts? I don't remember whether to use big or little hearts on that pattern. So that will be here, and then I'll do a white. And I have other white fabrics. So I showed you these. There's smaller hearts, right? And then there's some stripes. I got both. Then let me show you the stripes next. I got the red and the pink stripes, and this super cute Valentine-y fabric, and the panel. So let me show you the panel. And that will be what I am using and what I will be making. This won't be on it. I think I'm going to make a couple pillows with this. Look how cute this is. Just look. Oh my goodness. This is so darling. It would make a really cute backing on a big Valentine, like a lap-size Valentine's Day quilt. Wouldn't that be darling? But I am gonna, I think, cut it up for a pillow. Okay, my friend, you are doing your Sewcialites block today. Ta-da! And if you are a die cutter, we really want to see how you manage your dies, how you store them. Show us everything. Okay, I love you. Mwah. Oh yeah. Wait, show us your oldest UFO too. I showed you mine. Nana's peppermints. Let's see yours. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.